are on chapter 5. Chapter 5 is all about dividing decimals. So I hope you paid very close attention to long division because it will come greatly in handy during this chapter. We're going to jump right into section 5.1, division patterns. Let's look at those, shall we? So as you can see here, I have some problems. If I were you and I was a smart 5th grader, I would write these in my notebook because I know notes equal knowledge. Now the little speech bubble off to the side says dividing two numbers larger than 1 will equal a smaller number. I guess that makes sense. You know, if I have 6 jelly beans that I'm going to share with my 2 friends and do 6 divided by 2, then my answer is 3, because each person gets 3 jelly beans. And that is smaller than what I started with my 6 jelly beans. So that's logical to me. So I write that note off to the side if I were you, just to make sure that you're okay, that your brain remembers that. So we're going to go through these problems and we're going to solve them one by one, identifying that critical context. So for that first problem there, 78 and 3/10 divided by 1, off to the side you can see I wrote identity anyway. Off to the side you can see there that I wrote identity because this is using the identity property, right, meaning that it stays the same. If I have 78 and 3/10 dollars that I'm going to share with myself, with one person, well, then guess what? We all one of us gets 78 and 3/10 dollars. So for the next one, we're going to continue with this pattern, and we're going to do some decimal jumping. Now, as the little bubble off to the side says again, dividing two numbers larger than 1 will equal a smaller number. So 78 and 3/10 divided by 10 should give me a quotient that is smaller than I originally started with, smaller than my 78 and 3/10. So 78 and 3/10 divided by 10. So think of this like money. $78.30 shared amongst 10 people. So I'm going to solve that. Obviously, I know it's going to give me a smaller number, and we're going to do some dancing decimal work to be able to solve this problem. And I know that I have 1 0 in my problem, so I'm going to bump my decimal 1 place value, but which direction do I move it in order to find a smaller number? Oh, that's right. I'm going to move it to the left. The left is going to give me a smaller number than I first started with. So I take my decimal and I'm going to bump my decimal 1 place value to the left because I have 1 0 in my original problem, giving me a final quotient of 7 83/100. I can clearly see that followed my rule of getting a smaller number. The number is technically 1/10 of what it originally was. Following that same pattern, 78 and 3/10 divided by 100 people, I'm going to bump my decimal 2 place values to the left again. Now let's see if this makes logical sense. If I have $78.30 and I share that money with 100 people, nobody is going to get a whole dollar because I don't have $100 to share. So everybody's going to be earning less than $1. So again, we're going to bump that decimal 2 place values. 1, 2. Meaning that I have 783 thousandths is my final quotient there. So approximately 78 cents. That's logical. I know they should make less than $1 a piece because there's 100 people sharing that $78. I can see how that would make sense. Here's my problem. 78 6/10 divided by 10 to the 0 power. I know, as a smart 5th grade student, that 10 to the 0 power is the same as a 1 with 0 zeros, making that a 1. So I can rewrite that problem like this. Now that is a problem that I can solve. Again, using the identity property, I can say 78 6/10 divided by 1 is 78 6/10. Let's try the next one. 78 6/10 divided by 10 to the 1st power. 10 to the 1st power, as you may recall, is a 1 with 1 0, or just 10. So thinking back to the note that I had at the top of my page in my notes that says that dividing two numbers larger than 1 will equal a smaller number. I know that I have to bump my decimal point 1 place value to the left in order to give me a successful and correct answer. Following the pattern, 10 to the 2nd power is a 1 with 2 zeros. So my decimal is going to be moved 2 place values to the left. And then my final problem, 10 to the 3rd power, a 1 with 3 zeros. So my decimal is going to get bumped 3 place values to the left. 1, 2, 3. Looks like I have to hold that place value with a 0 because I don't have enough digits. Hooray! Now we've come to the time in our program where I ask you to solve this problem on your own with the tape stopped, with your video stopped. So if you were able to successfully answer all of those questions correctly on your own without the assistance of the video, then please mark yourself effectively on your learning scale in your math notes. Personally, I feel if you can do a problem of this caliber independently without any assistance, then you are at least a 3 on our learning scale. You've hit the target. You can do the patterns. You can solve patterns. If you struggled with this, or even though you got the answer correctly, you're still not quite sure how you got that answer, then feel free to mark yourself as a 2. 2s just mean you're learning, right? And we're all learning different things at different times. So please be honest with your scores so that I may use these scores to help you be successful in your math career. Please let me know of any and all questions that you have tomorrow in class. I truly hope you enjoy your evening, and I will see you tomorrow.